With SUVs becoming a formidable force to reckon with, when Skoda Auto India announced plans to bring in a sedan, especially after the success of the Kushaq, we had to pause and make sense of this strategy.
Well, it's a simple one. With the Rapid having had extensive success in the country with new variants being launched, there was a need to replace that car because it was going out of production. And of course, that compact sedan segment needed something formidable. And Skoda says that it has exactly that.
There was a massive gap then that needed to be plugged. With the Octavia now leaning towards the premium side, it will be the Slavia that the baton will be handed over to.
Yup, the Slavia. Now, the Slavia is now what the Octavia was maybe 2 decades ago. And that's why we call it the baby Octi, and it carries each aspect of this very car. You have the crystalline elements from Skoda that just bring you back to the Octavia. Then there's the butterfly grille, which again brings you back there. But there are unique elements like this L-shaped LED DRL, chrome in the front, and of course the 16-inch wheels that go on it. There are no 15 inches, 16 inches will be standard. Of course, lower trims will get steel wheels, but these alloys look very sleek, and that is why give the Slavia a very nice stance. Now you move towards the rear and you'll see that sloping roofline and the nice looking boot lid as well. Now the C-shaped LED tail lamps look great. They actually bring out a sleek element of the car. And of course there's the Skoda badging on the boot lid. There's good enough chrome on the front bumper and the rear bumper as well. But you know what? It looks sleek and it looks sexy. And this tornado red color just brings out all the lines on the car, the muscle on the bonnet, the curves on the side. And that's very sexy.
There's a lot to say on the dimensions front as well. So as you can see, on paper the Slavia is wider, taller and has a longer wheelbase when compared to its rivals. In fact, it has a larger ground clearance as well. But does that translate into more room in the cabin?
Well, it does. There's good enough shoulder room, there is good enough headroom too right here for me, and overall space and roominess is pretty good. Now, even if you see the dashboard, it's a very clean dashboard, and this element here actually stands out. So, overall it looks extremely clean and neat. But at the center of it all is this, the 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Now it gets wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This is only available in the top-end variants. Lower variants get a 7-inch touchscreen system. As far as the digital instrument cluster goes, that also is available only in the top-line variants. But it looks good. There are layout options to choose from, and you have all the information at your fingertips. The seats, in fact, I want to talk about them because they look nice and snug, and they are. You know, this entire bit here, it's snug and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling to be in that seat. It's more like a sports seat. The under thigh support is pretty good too, and of course these are ventilated seats, so even better. We love them, you all know that. The lumbar support is good too. On the features front, there's wireless charging that you get, there's a sunroof that you get. So basically, Skoda India has thought about all these features and then just put them all together for customers.
Thanks to the long wheelbase, there's enough room at the rear too.
Now back here, there is good enough knee room that I get, very breathable space here, and good enough headroom too. I was a bit worried about the headroom because the rear roof line slopes to the back, as you know, and that is why I thought that headroom will be an issue, but it is not. It is very nice. I get good under thigh support too, and overall roominess in the cabin is good too, and that is also because the glass area is larger, so there's good enough light that comes into the cabin, and since this is a light colored cabin as well, the roominess of it, it's just great. Now on the features front, you get rear AC vents and two C-type chargers at the back, and you also get these cup holders. But the thing that impresses us the most is the safety aspect of it all, because you get a 3-point seat belt for the person in the middle seat, and that is great. And of course you also get ISOFIX child seat mounts. That is very crucial in cars today, and that is a part of it, and we are so happy that it is, and that's why Slavia will get a thumbs up in that department.
There's more than enough space in the boot as well. 521 liters of it. And if you drop down the rear seats, then there's 1050 liters on offer. And that's massive. But let's get to the meat of the matter. How does it drive? It's got two turbocharged petrol engines, the 1 litre and the 1.5. I got to drive the 1 litre.
This one produces 114 brake horsepower. It's the same powertrain as in the Kushaq, and well, it is refined because it is receptive, and that's what you want in a car like this, right? It's the power delivery is linear, and it has a strong mid-range too, and that 6-speed torque converter responds to all your inputs. So even if thanks to these paddle shifters, you downshift, it's quick to respond, and that's what you want, especially when you're on the highway and wanting to overtake. The only problem I see here is that once the engine revs over 2300 2400 rpm, there's a lot of noise that creeps into the cabin. That anything above 2300 rpm and the noise just creeps in, and you don't want that in especially a premium car like this.
The initial acceleration too is lacking, and that's something we encountered even with the Kushaq. But it does have a strong mid-range, and that's good. I managed to get my hands on the manual variant too.
There's a lot to say about the 6-speed gearbox, the manual transmission one especially, and that is that the throws are very short, so traveling in traffic conditions is not going to be a hassle. But the clutch travel is long, and though it's light, it takes a toll on your left leg to an extent. So yes, and the clutch travel is long, but the gear shifts, the throws are short, and that makes it very easy to drive in traffic conditions. It's just, and if you see, I can even do it with a finger and it'll happen. So you don't need effort in doing any of it. It's just quick. That's how the manual transmission is.
Now, Skodas are known for their ride and handling capabilities, and so there are big expectations from the Slavia too.
Now, Skoda's forte has always been ride and handling, and with the Slavia it continues. So even if you encounter a big bump in the road or a big pothole in the road, the Slavia takes it in its stride. I'll show you how. There's a big pothole here. There you go. The cabin is undisturbed, and that's great because the suspension is sprung just right. It's not just for comfort, but it's for sportiness too. And that's a combination that Skoda has got right. And that is one reason why you enjoy driving this car every time you're behind the wheel.
When it comes to safety features, the Slavia gets a whole bunch of them as standard. You get ESC, vehicle stability control, brake disc wiping, multi-collision brake, traction control and more. And of course, it gets 6 airbags in the top spec model. So yes, a lot done in that department. But there's one department we don't know anything about, and that's the price. Now its competitors, and Skoda says that it's going after the Verna and the 5th generation Honda City, so I'll only compare the petrol prices here. The price of the City begins at 11,23,000 rupees, going all the way up to 14,98,000 rupees. The Verna is priced more competitively, and it starts at 9,32,000 rupees, going all the way up to 14,27,000 rupees. Given that Skoda will attack both these cars, we expect the top end of the 1-litre manual to be priced at 11,86,000 rupees, while the automatic will cost 1 lakh more. There's no doubt Skoda is serious about India, and with a car like the Slavia, it will look to cut out the competition in one big blow.